Ignorance is the only evil, the not knowing. To understand what ignorance is, the anatomy of it, how it starts and how it finishes, and how it is extremely successful in conquering the soul, you must understand the infinite process. And when I say infinite, I mean exactly that. When the soul is introduced to an idea, and that idea takes on form. So when someone introduces an idea or concept to you, you are just listening to a suggestion. But then once you start entertaining that ideal or suggestion, it starts to take form within your mind. And once you accept the idea and decide to act upon it, now the idea has become a part of you. So if that idea or that suggestion was from a negative place or a negative content or a negative connotation, then that idea, then it lays eggs. So for example, if someone gives you the idea of lasciviousness or perversion, and then you decide to entertain lasciviousness and perversion, then now you have allowed that energy within your vessel because of the fact that you're going to continue to reenact the activity of perversion and lasciviousness. Once that energy has come into your vessel and you have acted upon it, that energy then begins to lay eggs. Once those eggs hatch, they hold the energies of ignorance, demons, negativity. The prosperity of that ignorance begins to grow and evolve. So the ignorance or the idea or the energy enters into your vessel and then it lays eggs. And this is the trickery. This is how it happens. We can get an example or concept of the process of this in the beginning of the Bible where it talks about Adam and Eve. It is simply a metaphor or allegory or an idea of how something happens, the occurring of an event or occurring of a circumstance. It is a contract, a contractual agreement. So when that snake introduced the apple to Eve, Eve had a choice. The choice that she had was either to reject the offer or to accept it. When she decided to accept the offer, that's when the transformation took place. Prior to that, it was just conversation. That's all it merely was. It was merely a conversation. It was merely a suggestion. It was merely an offering. When she entertained the idea of accepting the offering or the concept, and she decided to partake in the idea, that's when the fall came. That's when everything changed for her, because then the idea then took on manifestation within her because she entertained it, she acted upon it. So now it has become a part of her, and because it has become a part of her, the energy that introduced the idea has now become a part of her energy. Once that has entered into her vessel, now that energy can spark new ideas and new concepts. And it goes on and on and on. This is what happens with humanity. The ignorance that has flamed the entire globe, the entire planet that we live on, is due to the idea or the concept of what this is. Once that negative energy has entered into your vessel, it begins to perspire. It begins to grow. It begins to evolve. So you can either have planted within your mind the seeds of knowledge and purity and have those lay eggs and those create more seeds of prosperity, knowledge, and purity, or you can have the seeds of ignorance planted within your mind that would do the same.